23. It's the first Monday in 2023, January the 2nd, and it is the Rant Network. And we're back here live, at least I am. My friend and colleague Stuart will be back soon enough on Wednesday. He'll be back here with another edition of the Rant Network. But we just I just had to get back on this live business. I just had to get on because one of the great things about the holidays, one of the beautiful things about when you're there in the holidays is you should be able to rest. You should be able to have a couple of days of R&R. You should be able to enjoy the time and relax and this and that. Unfortunately, our politicians didn't do us any good. And it's really not entirely the politicians' fault. They are just, trying to get reelected, right? That's what I always say. But here's the thing, okay? Here's the reality of where we're at today. If you look at the year end, it always happens, right? Leaders are brought into the scrum, into the media scrum, into that end of year, and they have those interviews. And this year, it was Omar Sachedina. He's the new honcho over at CTV, because what happened earlier this year when they fired whom, right? God forbid they should have a woman there, but because especially an older woman with white hair. But Omar Sachedina, he's the hot to trot media guy. I mean, they did a whole TV show with him going back to his homeland. He's on all these commercials because they got to praise this guy. And again, I'm not going to get into how CTV put out that guy out there, and whether he earned it or not is not the point. The thing was that he sat down with good old Justin Trudeau at the end of this, the year, and had a powwow with him, a nice conversation. And in typical CTV fashion, in typical liberal media fashion, this was all about how do we make this easy, soft, comfortable for the Prime Minister. In these year in reviews, it's kind of like, so tell me what you thought of this year. And of course, COVID, inflation, the Freedom Convoy in Canada, all these things come up. And despite the fact that Justin Trudeau has received a lot of criticism, not just from Pierre Poilievre, the opposition leader for the Conservative Party, but even some members in the media, some people who supported him, went after him and said, hey, this is wrong what you're doing. Teflon Justin doesn't care. Teflon Trudeau wants to do whatever he wants. King Justin is justified. There was a commission that said the Emergency Act should not have been put in place. There were a lot of exaggerations, a lot of mistakes. He felt he did nothing wrong. When it came up to inflation, he felt it was not his problem. It wasn't his fault. Gas prices, food prices. That's the war in Ukraine. It's not me. Don't blame me. It's always somebody else. And when it came up to responding, Sachedina did what I was expecting from a reporter at CTV. Nothing. Instead of challenging the Prime Minister and going, hey, angry Canadians are furious. You did it wrong. You should have, but no. One softball after another. One easy question after another. One opportunity after another. I mean, at the end of the day, they don't care about the real tangible responses. All they care about is, can we get ratings? Can I get another interview with the Prime Minister? Because it's going to look good on me. Maybe I'll win a Pulitzer Prize. Canadians are angry. The citizens are angry. And yet, doesn't matter. The leaders don't care. I'll give you an example of what I mean by that. Aaron O'Toole, the former leader of the Conservative Party, disgraced former leader, I mean, he just completely boffed whatever, made a comment that said, he finds it unfortunate, and I'm just paraphrasing, that there are a bunch of F Trudeau signs. Fill in the F people. You can figure this out. This, I'm hoping, is a family show. And the signs are everywhere, across Canada. Many of these signs have popped. And Aaron O'Toole has said that it's unfortunate. And I respect Mr. O'Toole's views. It's really disgusting to put that on a sign. When Pierre Poilievre, the leader of the opposition party, was asked by the media his thoughts that a member of his own party had found those signs wrong, the media hoped that Poilievre would do the Trumpist type of way of handling things and freak out and blame the media and blah, 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 blah. Instead, Poilievre came out with something that was absolutely bang on. Why are these signs emerging? Why are people saying F Justin, F Trudeau? It's obvious. People are angry. Go back to the interview. Mr. Trudeau, cost of living going through the roof. I know it's hard on Canadians. It's got to be hard on Canadians. But look, the Liberal government is wonderful, and we're great, and we're super, and we care, and we this, and we that. Do you know how many taxes have gone up? Do you know that take-home pay now, thanks to unemployment insurance and everything else, people are taking home less as of today in Canada? That's right. Our deductions at source have gone up. So inflation, cost of living, call it whatever you want, food on the table, is gone through the roof. And good old Justin's comment is, can't blame me. I'm not wrong. Pierre Poilievre called him out and said mortgage rates went up. Obviously, interest went up from 1 year ago today. People are paying hundreds, if not thousands of dollars more on their mortgage. Doesn't matter. Food costs gone through the roof. People are paying way more for food. Doesn't matter. Last night, gas went up again here. Gas tax showed it up. Why not? The leaders just don't get it. And the citizens, angry. Because we don't want to make a decision, a choice between food or gas, mortgage payments or clothes for the kids. Because that's what average people are doing today. Now, that's just here in Canada. And you know, Pierre Poilievre, God bless, man, good job for calling out these media people who didn't want to address the real point. They wanted to try to catch you in a soundbite. And of course, that didn't make the media. His whole 3-minute answer was on his Facebook page, thankfully, because the media wouldn't want to show this, wouldn't want to make Trudeau look bad. They needed a Trump-like statement. And they didn't get it. Now, speaking of Trump, again, what is the important part? Look what happened at Christmas time, right? Yes, there was a snowstorm. Yes, thousands of flights were canceled. Awful situation in the US and Canada. Awful situation altogether. And the transport, secretary, Pete Buttigieg, he mishandled the whole situation. I mean, with Southwest and with other airlines, and terribly handled. Thousands and thousands and thousands of travelers stranded. Vacations ruined, sure. Money lost completely. People who finally had a dime to go and spend, gone. Thanks, Pete. You did nothing to help out. Did the media go after Pete Buttigieg? Some. Hard? Hardly. Was he listening? Of course not. But the media had to talk about Donald Trump's tax returns. That was the important story during the holiday season. His tax returns. The media went at, love it. And and Joe Biden? Yeah, he needs his vacation. Go to the U.S. Virgin Islands. And then, instead of waiting a day, or instead of everybody getting their act together, they flew the omnibus bill to the U.S. Virgin Islands. Now, you got to understand, this is not a fax or an email. We're talking about people picking up, taking documents, going with them. And it wasn't one person. It's a flight crew. It's an entire team flying privately from one from Washington to the U.S. Virgin Islands and back to get a signature. And the hypocrisy is that Joe Biden talks about his green energy motion, his green energy, his idea that the world is going to be a better place if we go green, if we are environmentally conscious. And then this happens, and the media doesn't say anything. The leaders are okay. The leaders are absolved of any responsibility in this case. Politicians don't matter. The citizens are angry. And instead of being called out for the hypocrisy, let's go talk about Donald Trump's tax returns. I mean, what does Donald Trump? Yeah, I know the media wants to discredit Donald Trump. It's January 2023. We're a year away from the first primaries. I get it. It drives, ratings. It's wonderful. But the citizens are angry. The everyday person doesn't care. Did anybody pay attention in the November election? Americans are divided. And when the polls were done in Western countries like Canada, in the UK, and others, they're equally divided. They're tired. When times are good, we can, mess around, do what you want. Times are tough, folks. We're talking inflations. We're talking a recession. We're talking about cost of living going through the roof. Not just talk, it's happening. And the citizens want to see real, tangible actions. Now, the Republicans are about to take over the House tomorrow. And already the media's like, oh, you're going to say they're going to waste money on commissions and committees and how that. But did anybody call it the January 6th committee? No. Millions of dollars blown on a stupid waste of time. And I know there are people going to be listening to me going, David, Donald Trump should be in jail. Okay. Then put a real court in there, not a kangaroo court, put a real court in there and get it done. Not grandstanding where nothing gets done. Don't bring in, we know everybody saw it. But you didn't attack the point. Citizens are angry. Pete Buttigieg did nothing in Christmas time with these, instead of mobilizing and getting something done, he did nothing. And the media didn't do anything either. Instead, the criticism went wild on Donald Trump. Pierre Poilievre. They still talk about Pierre Poilievre and his idea about, backing cryptocurrency. I mean, this is not what the everyday citizen wants to hear or see or expect from their politicians. What they really want, ladies and gentlemen, is action. Real action. None of this garbage that we're hearing in the media of, oh my God, Donald Trump's tax returns. You know what we can make out of Donald Trump's tax returns? Toilet paper. So the guy, a rich guy, took advantage of the tax code. Go find a rich person who hasn't taken advantage of the tax code. Okay, but the tax code's there. But the media needs its crucifixion. It needs to crucify somebody. And it can't be anybody on the left. And it cannot be a liberal-minded individual. And it cannot be... Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to stress something that, I'm going to quote Bill Maher. Liberal and woke are not the same. I'm not here to criticize and say, oh my God, it's woke folk and it's liberal. No. Stop. Don't confuse that comment. The citizens are angry at everyone, every politician, every leader today, because they're not acting responsibly. They're not helping the everyday person that needs the help. And so when the media goes out and does stupid reports on Trump tax returns, when the media does dumb interviews with Justin Trudeau and giving him softballs and letting him show how wonderful he is, folks, that's what upsets the everyday man, everyday person, everyday paying citizen, the everyday individual who wants to have a good life. They're tired and they're fed up. And God help the next election we have. God help the next election we have. I can't wait to see what the reaction is going to be. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, that's my quarter hour. That's it for me. Happy New Year. Wishing you all the very, very best. We'll be back here on Wednesday. We'll continue to rant on other topics. Folks, catch us on all the podcasts. Catch us on Facebook, on Rumble, on YouTube. We're everywhere. We're growing. And what you'll see in 2023 is a newer and better Rant Network. Folks, we love you. We look forward to seeing you on Wednesday. Stay well. Stay